Alright, what is up? I'm going to show you guys how to implement OTE into your trading. And what is OTE? OTE is optimal trade entry, which is basically just where price is most likely to end up reversing. So this is how I implement it into my trades, right? So let's say we have this IRL to ERL kind of scenario right here, right? So let's say we are in this range, pushing up, right? And we want to end up taking this range high. How would I implement OTE, right? So this is how I would do it. So let's say we have this 15-minute gap, right? I could just take the 15-minute gap and, take the trade, right? But if I want to add extra confluence, I could add OTE into the mix, right? And what do we get? So we get the 15-minute tap. We do get this tap into OTE, right? So OTE is basic. Okay, so equilibrium is zero point 0.5, right? OTE is anything past that, and that's how I use it. So yeah, anything past that is kind of OTE. And how do we know if we're disrespecting it? If we close below, I would stop it, right? I wouldn't really use it after we close past right here. Past 0.79, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be using it really. So that's when I would stop using OTE. But from 0.62 to 0.705, right? Um, I would use it, right? Past 0.79, it's kind of ass. If we close past it, right? So if we get a candle closure, right? The past here, I don't want to be using that. I would only want to be using, like, if we get a wick and then we close like 0.62, that's honestly like A plus to me. It's like A plus usage of OTE. So let me show you guys my settings. So pause the video if you want. Just pause the video because I'm going to go kind of quick. So yeah, 0, 0 0.5, 0 0.62, 0 0.79, and yeah. So those are the settings for it. And yeah, so it's kind of like just regular fib. But you implement it with shit, so you get a higher percent chance to win. And that's how I would use it in this scenario, right? That's the best way to use it. Now, the issue that people have, right, is like they start getting kind of like a little bit analysis paralysis and shit, and they just start putting it everywhere, right? Start putting it here, like, oh, maybe we're gonna reverse off. Nah, right? You kind of just have to see how the market's moving. If we're respecting bullish gaps, right, we're gonna use OTE here. I'm not gonna put OTE, especially if we're disrespecting bearish gaps and shit like that. You kind of just have to know your draw on liquidity, especially. So if we are bullish, just always have it in a bullish case. I'm gonna give you guys an example of how I used OTE today, right? So today actually was kind of perfect example to show you guys. Where the fuck? Oh god, here. Okay. So I the trade that I took today was pretty nice, and I actually did implement it. So we got the range low to the range high, and we can clearly see that OTE got hit, right? And in that OTE we had this 15-minute fair value gap that also got tapped, right? And this fair value gap was in equilibrium, which makes it even more like just even more better, just even more better. That's all I could say about it. And then we do get this 1 minute IFVG, which is what I entered off of. I could have waited for the CISD for extra confirmation, but since I had OTE, that was all the extra confirmation I needed, right? So yeah, I took this. I had a shitty entry. I'm not gonna lie, I had a really shitty entry. It was right here. I posted the video if you guys want to check it out. I had like some shit ass entry like this, and I targeted this for a 1 to 2, and we did end up hitting. So yeah, that was pretty nice. And yeah, that's how you could implement OTE into your trades. Don't just use OTE and like not have anything to back it up, or like have any confluence around it. You need to obviously have confluence. You can't just expect to put that shit down and then as soon as it hits that, you take the fucking trade. Just no, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, that's how I implement it into my trading.